Let's transition and let's go to Baltimore as the Baltimore Ravens beat the Seattle Seahawks 37-3 for the Seahawks. Geno Smith, he struggled. He went 13 of 28. He threw for 157 passing yards, one touchdown for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson had another great performance. He went 21 of 26. He threw for 187 passing yards. Keaton Mitchell, he had 9 receptions, 138 receiving yards, one touchdown. Here's Lamar Jackson after the game.
I think was key to just the rushing attack, just plowing through all day.
Our defense, you said?
No, your offense's rushing attack.
Oh, the running backs, well, start with the offensive line making great blocks, but the running backs was doing what they do, making explosives. Gus, running for 2 touchdowns. Justice doing his thing on the ground. Then Key, just flying past everyone. Great job by those guys in the offensive line.
That was Lamar Jackson after the Ravens 37-3 win over the Seahawks over the weekend. So, when I look at the Baltimore Ravens, I watched this game in the 1 o'clock window Sunday afternoon, and my biggest takeaway from the Ravens' performance over the Seattle Seahawks is the Baltimore Ravens are the best team in the NFL. Not only are the Baltimore Ravens the best team in the AFC North, not only are they the best team in the AFC, they are the best team in the NFL. We have watched the Baltimore Ravens over the last 3 weeks. Over the last 3 weeks, the Ravens have scored 30-plus points in their last 3 games. And in week 7 and in week 9 against 2 playoff teams in the Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks, the Baltimore Ravens have outscored the Lions and the Seahawks 75-9. 75-9. And Lamar Jackson in his career, he's now 18-1 against NFC teams in his career. So what that tells me is when NFC teams face off against Lamar Jackson, they have a hard time putting together a game plan and actually being able to stop Lamar Jackson. The Seattle Seahawks, they're not familiar with Lamar Jackson's play style and how fast he is in the open field as a running quarterback. You can watch highlights, you can watch film, but it doesn't really hit you until you're in the game in real time and you witness how great Lamar Jackson is. I said it before and I'm going to say it again. Lamar Jackson is going to win NFL MVP. So far this season, he only has 9 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1,954 passing yards. He's completing 72% of his passes. But I expect as the season goes along for Lamar Jackson to continue to throw the football efficiently and effectively. And that was the goal for the Baltimore Ravens when they moved off of Greg Roman and brought in Todd Monken. The goal was to have Lamar Jackson in the pocket more as a pocket passer because contrary to what most people believe, Lamar Jackson can throw the football. He can throw the football, and so far this season, with his completion percentage, he's showing while he's an accurate thrower of the football as well. Let's look at Lamar Jackson and his NFL ranks so far this year in statistics. He's completing 72% of his passes. That's ranked first in the NFL. This is among 30 quarterbacks with at least 6 starts this year. He's completing 72% of his passes. That's ranked first in the NFL. Average yards per pass attempt, 7.7. That's ranked 4th in the NFL. His interception percentage is only 1.2. That's ranked 2nd in the NFL. and his rushing yards per game is 49. That's ranked first in the NFL. He has 5 rushing touchdowns. That's ranked third in the NFL. So Lamar Jackson is playing at an elite level right now, and he's playing efficient football, very, very efficient football. And in this game, they were able to get Odell Beckham involved in the offense. Odell had 5 receptions, 56 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. Mark Andrews, 9 receptions, 80 receiving yards. Isaiah Likely, 4 receptions for 42 receiving yards. So as the season goes along, the Baltimore Ravens, with these weapons that Lamar Jackson has to distribute the football to, they will be better as we get into December and January football. They're going to be better. And I like how the Ravens are built now. I really, really do. At receiver, you got Zay Flowers. You got OBJ. You got Nelson Aguilar as well. You got Devin Duvernay as well. And you still got Mark Andrews, who's a top 5 tight end in the NFL. So this Ravens offense is an elite offense. And they're elite because of Lamar Jackson. And this year, he's really, really doing a great job at throwing the football. But they still can run the football. And that's what makes them so great. This kid, Keaton Mitchell, out of nowhere, he has a great performance. 9 rushing attempts, 138 rushing yards, averaging 15 yards per rush, 1 touchdown. I don't know how, but the Ravens always find running backs. They got Gus Edwards. They got Keaton Mitchell. They had J.K. Dobbins before his season-ending injury earlier in the season. They always find running backs to plug into this offense, and they fit right in. Keaton Mitchell was the player of the game, arguably. 9 carries, 138 rushing yards, averaging 15 yards per carry. So the Ravens are the best team right now in the NFL. And the thing that surprised me too, though, as I watched this game, and honestly, I knew coming into the season how great the Ravens were going to be offensively, because I believe in Lamar Jackson. I really, really do. And I like the transition from Greg Roman to Todd Monken, because I was excited to see Lamar Jackson in a passing offense, like to where the strength of the offense is not just Lamar Jackson running the football. You can also throw the football as well with Lamar Jackson. I was excited to see the Ravens offense this year, and I thought they had nice weapons drafting Zay Flowers and signing OBJ in free agency. But what's been really, really impressive with the Ravens this year is their elite defense. The Ravens arguably have the best defense in the NFL. They only give up 296 total yards per game. That's ranked second in the NFL. They only give up 171 passing yards per game. That's ranked second in the NFL. They give up 92 rushing yards per game. That's ranked 8th in the NFL. They only give up 14 points per game. That's ranked first in the NFL. So they are top 10 in 4 out of 5 major defensive categories. And you look at that defense up front, you got Michael Pierce, you got Broderick Washington. At linebacker, you got Raekwon Smith. You got Patrick Queen as well. In that secondary, you still got Marlon Humphrey. You got Marcus Williams as well, and Kyle Hamilton. The way this Ravens defense is playing, they are also playing complementary football. They're playing complementary football. So I love the way the Ravens are playing right now. And I know right now in the AFC North, if the playoffs started today, all 4 AFC North teams would be in the postseason. But it is clear that the best team in the AFC North is the Baltimore Ravens. And in my eyes, not only are they the best team in the AFC North and the best team in the AFC right now, they are the best team in pro football. Now, when I look at the Seattle Seahawks, I still think the Seahawks are a playoff team. I think they are, but I do feel like this was a moment for the Seahawks to separate themselves from the 49ers in the NFC West. The 49ers had a bye week, and so the Seahawks had an opportunity to get a full game up on the 49ers. They haven't played each other yet this season, but I thought the Seahawks had an opportunity to improve to 6-2 because right now the 49ers are 5-3, so they would have had a full game up on the 49ers, and it was the 49ers bye week. And then in week 10, the Niners got the Jaguars. They got the Jags. So this was an opportunity for the Seahawks and the Seahawks next week, they have the Commanders. So let's just assume that the Seahawks beat the Ravens and they beat the Commanders, and the Niners lost in week 10 to the Jaguars, which is possible. The Seahawks would have had a 2-game lead over the 49ers. 2-game lead. If they would have beat the Ravens in week 9 and beat the Commanders in week 10, and if the 49ers would have lost to the Jaguars in week 10, Seattle would have had a 2-game lead over the 49ers as we head into week 11, because that would be week 11 at that point. So I thought this was an underwhelming performance, but I still think the Seahawks are a playoff team. In this matchup, the Ravens, they dominated everything. The Ravens dominated time of possession, 40-19. The Ravens had 29 first downs. The Seahawks had 6 first downs. The Ravens had 298 rushing yards. The Seahawks had 28 rushing yards. The Ravens had 515 total yards for the game. The Seahawks only had 151 total yards for the game. And I was shocked because I thought this was going to be a close game. Because I thought Vegas, I think they had the Seahawks favored by 6.5 points going into this game. And I said that was a mistake because Seattle is a playoff contender in my eyes. I think the Seahawks are a playoff team in the NFC. But the Ravens embarrassed the Seahawks. They embarrassed the Lions as well in week 7. Outscoring the Lions and the Seahawks 75-9 in their 2 performances in week 7 and week 9, and over the last 3 weeks, scoring at least 30 points. That's impressive for the Baltimore Ravens. Right now, they are the best team in the NFL.